Welcome to Splinter Cell Conviction, the Washington Monument episode. In the last episode we finished the most irritating level in Splinter Cell history, and in this episode we shall try to meet up with our friend Victor Coste, the friend who we shared our Iraqi experiences with. This episode we have 3 spies tailing Victor Coste, and Sam's job is to get rid of those 3 spies before meeting with Victor Coste himself, because Victor Coste feels that there's too much hate to meet if either Sam or Victor Coste himself is spotted. The mission overall is very simple. Near the end it gets a little hectic, but overall it's very simple. The enemies are marked with an X and they wear black suits, so they're very easy to spot, like this one over here. This interrogation was very funny to me because when you ask them like who's excuse me, Sam in a few minutes here asks, who's Victor Coste, and his response was pretty hilarious. To me it was.
Victor Coste. He's just this guy.
That is an intelligent response. Sam asks who Victor Coste is, and he just says, oh, he's just this guy. And Sam is happy with that. I don't get it. Oh well, moving on to the second guy. These guys all are pretty stupid for hired intelligence, because they all like to turn their backs on obnoxious dark areas, even though they know Sam Fisher is known for stuff like this, but oh well, I'm not gonna complain on that one. Hopefully you guys don't mind me fast forwarding me chasing the 3 guys, just because I feel like that's dull action and just stretches the video on too much. After taking care of the second guy, the third guy is also going to be in a similar fashion, where he turns his back in a dark alleyway, and it's really the 3 interviews to only give us the information that the people they're following is not actually Victor Coste. Victor Coste is the bait, since they already know that Victor Coste is Sam Fisher's buddy. They're waiting for Sam Fisher to arrive, and they have backup stored up, so that when Sam Fisher arrives on the scene, backup arrives in a bang. Other than that, we don't really gain much info in here anyway, because we were already suspicious about the fact that they were actually here for Sam, so no new seeds are grown by these 3 interrogations. Personally, to me, only like one of them is like the second interrogation was the most helpful one, really. Shed a lot of light.
I'm an associate. We were waiting for you. Told the crew in there when we saw you.
So after the third one is done, Victor Coste is finally comfortable with meeting with Sam, and he tells him to meet on the Washington Monument. The meeting is actually, what I want to know is, why did he choose the Washington, under the Washington Monument? I believe in a crowd would have been less suspicious, but I suppose the crowd is pretty spread out at the carnival, so I'm guessing he did the right choice. What I want to know, for all the people that have been to Washington Monument, is that does this booth actually exist? Obviously, I don't think many people have been to the Washington Monument, but just in case some people have. But that's Victor Coste. He looks like your generic photographer.
We don't have a lot of time. Those spotters had to have backup.
He tells you what's going on, and he gives you a backpack equipped with a portable EMP. This EMP grenade is not as powerful as the EMP grenade this EMP backpack, quote unquote, is not as powerful as the EMP grenade. However, it does get the job done. Even though it's a portable EMP, does not assume that it is infinite, because it is not. He also provides you with a pistol with the silencer on it, and gives you some information about what's going on. Other than that, there's not much going on in this conversation.
Nice. What else do you have for me?
There's a file in the bag, but here's the short version. There's an R&D house called Whitebox, a DoD contractor that does work on EMP technology.
So,
6 months ago, they suddenly contract out all their security to those assholes over at Black Arrow. Now, that's a breaking pattern for them. They don't do corporate security. And based on what you told me about them...
might be a connection.
Bingo. It's slim, but you've gone Fifth Freedom based on less. All right. Time for you to go. And you ping me when you reach safe distance, and we'll talk more about Whitebox before you go in.
Will do. Stay safe, Vic.
By order of the Department of Public Works, this
So the moment Victor tells us to move, the carnival is emptied out, telling everybody, the general public, that there's a gas leak and everyone is requested to exit immediately. The main true meaning of that is that there's backup that was, the backup that was waiting for Sam has now arrived and is here to take in Sam. The first batch of groups will defeat you immediately the moment you exit. You can, if you have execute available, you can just use them on these guys, but most likely you don't. So I just like to deal with them the old-fashioned way, just, pray and spray, really. The first batch is not as difficult as you would think. The last batch for me proves more difficult, but I don't think in this, later on, I don't think it proved much difficult in this playthrough. So after checking your corners, you move in. The second batch is there in the middle of the carnival. I don't like to take this approach. You could approach from here and mark the 3 targets if you do have an execution available. The more beneficial idea is to go from the back, as I'm leaving right now, and approach from this side and grab one of the 2 people that is available for me. For me, it's the guy in the back. I like to mark these 2 targets and then execute them. There's a third person that I didn't notice at the moment. I usually mark him too because he had his head popped out, but at the moment I didn't. So now that he knows that I'm there and he called in his friend, I like to approach from the back and then take care of these 2 people by using a couple of headshots. Easy enough. So then we move on to the further area where there's the biggest patch of people. Going in here, there's excuse me, there's a few ways you can approach this. You can either execute all 3 of them at once, or you can, if you want to gain an execute, mark the 3 people and then shoot all 3 of them in the head and then kill the person that you're currently holding. Then you approach these 3 people. I like to just throw a remote mine into the gas leak and then the whole gas tube explodes by itself. If you didn't know where I threw it at that black barbecue grill I have on my left. That's the thing that explodes. After doing that, I like to use an EMP grenade, make it dark enough where I don't get noticed, and I like to move in really close. After a little bit, the portable EMP grenade goes off, power goes off, and the EMP power goes off, and the power comes back again. Then, I just, rush it, and then try to finish it as fast as possible. Only 3 people, so it's not going to be that difficult to finish, unless you're playing on veteran. In that case, you like to mark the 3 opponents, and then finish them off. So that is the Washington Monument. It's not that difficult and it's not that long, as you guys can tell. It can be a little tedious listening to all those conversations, but here we have a little segment where you have to just walk with the grim holding a pistol, saying that Sam never knew us. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed.